Morning, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We're at 7725 North Montana Avenue here in Portland, located on the right side of the house. That's as you face the front door from North Montana. We're about 3 feet to the left of the hose bib. That's as you face the hose bib anyway, and about 2 feet out from the house. Got a 3-inch ABS cleanout as our point of access. We're going to check the overall condition, serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water's running. We're going to zero out here at the base of the cleanout, and off we go. And it looks like we're immediately transitioning over to cast iron pipe. That joint there, I think it's got a little bit of a lip on it. We'll take a look at that on the way out. I think mostly just given the camera problems, it does not immediately look like something that is causing flow issues for water and stuff going through the line. It's a lip immediately after I drop into the line here, and it's a directional style clean out, so it usually creates for a tricky situation getting in. But we'll take a look at that on the way out. And I think the line bumped out to 4-inch as we, like, maybe within 5 feet of dropping into the line. Another spot we'll get a look at as we come out. Now we're doing a really hard vertical dive here. We're just going straight down right now. And that's a seriously hard drop there. There's definitely, looks like, I believe we've gone past multiple different root intrusions. At least one there. It looks like another right there. And this is almost feeling like a cesspool. I'm going to do some locates here really quick. We just went straight down there for quite a ways, and I'm going to turn the water off here for a second, see if I can get a better view of what's going on here. And we still got some water trickling off right now. I just cannot tell what I'm dropping into here. The way that this thing went down so vertically, the way the camera's dangling around, this feels very much like the cesspool tanks I've dropped into over the years. But we'll see. I'm going to try and locate here while this thing is draining out. This is kind of a bummer of a situation too. I mean, you've just got debris just floating down here at the bottom of it. This is looking like a cesspool. I don't see them very often in this part of town. It's very common in certain parts of Portland. Not very many of them anymore, but the hard part is it takes just 1 or 2 droplets of water to dangle off the end of the camera lens on these vertical drops like this, and you just can barely see anything. But I can tell my camera is just flopping around inside here, which tells me that we're in a very large diameter pipe right now, or potentially a tank. Your camera won't do that unless it's in, in free fall, but also in a very large diameter pipe. Might get our best view right here. In fact, I'm gonna go flush the toilet just to clear some gunk off the end of my camera lens really quick, but that actually is kind of looking like the opening to a tank there. That gush of water was enough to get my camera to actually pull down inside of this. I think what you've got here is a cesspool. it looks like we're just dropping into some massive opening right here. So I tried locating at that spot. My camera is in a really goofy angle there too. I'm going to try and locate here. This marking will be very close to where that tie-in is. Alright, so what I would do here, and it's raining like the dickens, so I've got to get my camera out of the line here, but I'm having a hard time keeping the equipment dry. I've marked that approximately with a white X in the right side yard here. The line kind of makes its way towards the front yard. And then just before going past the front right corner of the house, about 10 feet out from the right side of the home there, you'll see a white X marking. I would see if the city shows any record of a cesspool on property. In order to scope this thing effectively, yeah, it looks like we're making a diameter change here to 4-inch pipe right there. To make sure that they're showing a record of a cesspool, and also that it's okay to have one. The tank is obviously, if that is indeed a tank, and everything's pointing to that being the case, at least in my opinion, that's what that looks like. I've cambered a lot of sewer lines. That's very typically how they look there. So anyway, that's the front right corner we're looking at. That's as you face this house from Montana. Straight out from that corner there, you'll see a white X marking. I had to approximate things a little bit because I couldn't locate right at where the cast iron ends and the concrete begins because of the angle. So I pulled back maybe all of a foot or two and then tried to adjust for that. So I would look into that, and then obviously if that is indeed a cesspool, the tank, if that's a cesspool tank there, it looks shot. It looks like you have roots going all the way down from top to bottom down the entire thing. So at the very least, you'd want to get it inspected and see if there's, if it's functioning properly, things of that nature. The line out to it here appears to be in pretty darn good shape. The cast iron looks like it's held up nicely. I'm going to review this at home just because the rain's kind of messed things up here. But thus far, the ABS and cast iron pipe leading up to that point all appear to be in good shape and have good flow. But I may see something on camera in better lighting and just better conditions that I mentioned on the report, but I'm not talking about it on video right now, so just be aware of that.